Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail. And my guests today, I have two of them. One of them is Patty Benton, who you've seen on Fresh Perspectives several other times already. And the other one is a girl named Jazzy. And they are here to represent the Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue today. Thank you for coming today, Patty and Jazzy.
Well, thank you for inviting us. Jazzy's very happy to get out of the shelter for an hour and have an adventure up here. So.
Yeah, she came right over and greeted me as soon as she got here. She seems really friendly and nice and well behaved and all that kind of stuff. Well, let's talk about Jazzy's story.
Okay. Well, Jazzy's between 5 and 6 years old. We're not sure of her breed, but we're trying to guess some kind of terrier or possibly a bearded collie mix. She's a little bit overweight, but lots of us are. So she could use some exercise. She's really good on a leash. She likes to go for walks. She is a little bit possessive of her food, so she's looking for a home without
another dog.
Well, you could have another dog if you feed them separately, because we have that issue at our house, but maybe not little kids that would try to go near her bowl when she's eating or something like that. So older children,
old enough to know enough what they can't get away with the animal.
Right. So she's never gone after anybody though, but she gets a little growly if you try to take her, her dish. So when we feed them at the shelter, when they're done eating, usually we're taking them out for a walk and then we'll get the dish, or you offer a treat, distract them with a treat, and then you can take the dish. Mm-hmm. So she hasn't.
I know the cats that we have. They get kind of worried when I'm going to take their dish to wash it. It's like, where's she going with my dish?
Where's my food? Usually a cat won't snap at you though, so. A dog could, so she would be. She'd be better without little kids, but.
Well, I guess sometimes cats can be a problem. I used to see a television program on the Animal Planet channel called My Cat from Hell. Oh. Did you ever see that?
No, but I've heard of it,
where they have a cat behaviorist come in and help them.
Good luck with that.
So now, I understand, when I texted Patty one day, when I was getting ready to get her lined up for an episode of Fresh Perspectives, and I texted her, I think maybe early in the afternoon or something, and when it was just about bedtime, and I went to turn my phone off for the night, all of a sudden my phone made that noise it makes when a text comes in. So I thought I'd better check that, and up came a picture of a little dog. Oh. And it turned out to be Patty had texted me a picture of a little girl that she has recently adopted, that she was fostering.
Yes.
So tell the viewing audience about that little girl that you adopted, your most recently adopted daughter.
Right. Well, I'm always at the shelter on Sunday morning, and generally we get the transports that bring in the dogs from out of state. They usually come in late Saturday evening, so I get to see them first, and so when I get in there in the morning, they're all barking, and we have a lot of big dogs, and everybody's excited. And so down in one of the kennels, near the end, all by herself, was this tiny little thing, kind of huddled in the corner of her bed, and it was Heidi, and she's a little Shih Tzu. But and so a lot of times the little dogs, we try to get someone to foster them because they just don't acclimate as well to the shelter as some of the bigger guys. And so I thought, well, I'll just take her home and foster her, because I knew I had heard that someone on the transport team because they'll do like a couple of hours of a leg, and then someone else picks them up. So somewhere along the line between Indiana and Western New York, somebody had said, well, I'd really like to have that dog for my mom, my older mom, and we'll come back to get her. So I thought, okay, this is pretty safe. I can take her home and foster her, and she's going to get picked up in a couple of days. So this was on a Sunday, and then, it gets to be like Tuesday or Wednesday, and I thought, well, if I was in Ohio and I wanted this dog, I would have been here to get her, but I don't know what their situation was. So it got to be 10 days. We're going on week number 2. Meanwhile, Steve and I are just falling in love with this cute little,
her.
She's just perfect. And she gets along. This is dog number 4. Well, it was dog number 4. Now we have dog number 5, but that one's another foster. But anyway, so dog number 4, and we're just like, well, we don't really want 4 dogs, but,
she's small.
She's small, and so then I think it was like Tuesday, I asked Marcia, the co-director, I said, when are they coming to get her? Because we're really getting attached, and she better be going somewhere really nice, because this is a super sweet little thing. And so Marcia said, oh, they're coming on Wednesday to get her, Wednesday afternoon. So I thought, okay. So I tell Steve, and we're just like, we're going to miss her, but it'll be okay. She's going to have a good home and everything. And then Tuesday night, just before I went to bed, I checked my email, and I got an email from Marcia who said, well, believe it or not, these people who thought they wanted her so bad decided that they don't. So she said, if you want to keep her, you can keep her. So I talked to Steve. It took us 2 seconds to decide, yeah, we'll just keep her. So we adopted her officially on March 17th.
Oh, good.
And then there was another dog there that I'd been meaning to foster. She came from a hoarding situation, and they hadn't been like abusive to her, but they were neglectful. Like, they didn't give her any attention. Plus, she came in and she was pregnant, and she was pretty young. She was probably just like the first time she could get pregnant, she got pregnant. A small, she's probably about 20 pounds. They thought maybe a beagle mix, but she could be Jack Russell and cattle dog from her markings. She's not on the website because she's, she needed some rehab.
She's not ready.
She's not ready for people yet. And so we had her at the shelter. She had her puppies. You couldn't get near her. You can't touch her. You can't pet her. You can't put a leash on her. And so I thought, well, I wanted to bring her home so I could get her used to living with people. And she's super dog friendly. So now we have her. We've had her for about a week, and she's really coming along. We haven't been able to put a collar on her or a leash yet, or pet her yet. Like, sometimes we touch her when she's running by, and she's just kind of like, wow, what was that? You touched me, But she comes up to us. She'll take treats from us. She plays with the other dogs. She sleeps in the house just fine. One accident when she first got there, and nothing after that.
Good.
So, hey, wait, you can't go over there.
Hey, you cutie pie.
You're going to get tangled up in the wires.
You are adorable, aren't you?
She wants to go home with you.
You are.
You can take her home. I don't know if she likes cats or not. We haven't cat tested her.
Yeah,
yet.
we have. There are 2 cats that live with us. So, we had an experience of our own back in towards the end of February, I think it was. The weather was pretty cold, and one day we discovered that there was a cat in our woodshed, a stray cat. And I'm thinking, oh no, don't tell me somebody has done that horrible, nasty thing that people do where they take an animal out in the country and drop it off because they don't want it anymore. And, oh gosh, so now I've got to figure out what to do about it. And Carl was very specific about, no, we can't adopt another cat. You can't adopt every stray cat.
Was it friendly or?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It obviously was used to people. I mean, it took, a few minutes to, to get over being afraid of us. But so I called a neighbor that lived up around the corner from us to see if she knew if anybody, like up that way was missing a cat that fit that description. And she said, she said she didn't know, but she said that cat had been at her house for a couple of days, and then it disappeared. So, and we found it there right when it was one of those times it was really cold and we were getting a lot of snow. But this cat was very unusual looking. She was mostly like tabby striped. She had white spots on her forehead and chest and white feet, and then there was a few other body parts where that tortoise shell color combination, where they call them tortoise shell cats. Very unusual and different. So anyways, I managed to, I first tried to get a hold of the people at the Thrifty Kitty, but it seems like they don't answer anymore, and somebody wound up telling me they have a new phone number. But I was able to get a hold of somebody from the Little Angels Animal Rescue. Are you familiar with them at all? And so anyways, the first person from there that I talked to, when I described the cats, she goes, "Oh, that's a Torby." She goes, "That's a cross between a tortoise shell and a tabby, so they call them a Torby." And she goes, "That means it's a female."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that weekend we were able to get somebody from the Little Angels Animal Rescue came and got her, and but you know, she got adopted quickly, they tell me. She was so unusual looking, and she had kind of a sweet personality, so she
That
did
helps.
get adopted
Yeah.
right away, so I was real happy about that. Now, you guys usually have a yard sale every summer at the end of July, and last year when I came to it, somebody had donated a box of Vera Bradley purses.
Oh,
And I bought a couple of them, so I had this next to my purse next to the table, because I bought two of the Vera Bradley purses at your yard sale. They're really nice. They're 100% cotton, and you can throw them in the washing machine to wash them. So I was kind of happy to find them. So you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to find at their doggone good yard sale.
it's huge. And this year, well, we always start taking donations July 1st in the afternoon. I mean, if you come in the evening, if there's volunteers there, we'll usually take the stuff in. But the best time to come is between 1 and 3.
In the afternoon.
But we realize people work. But, Saturday, too, you can come and drop off donations. And we don't take electronics or clothing or shoes. Well, we really like furniture, household appliances, small appliances. We've even sold washers and dryers too, and stoves and stuff like that. Yeah,
Wow.
if you have a used stove. Last year I took a stove down there and they sold it for $100, I think. Sporting equipment, all that exercise equipment that people buy and never use, and then
Then they wind up donating it.
Lawn equipment, lawn tools, antiques. We get some jewelry. We get some really nice jewelry that people just want to get rid of. So all kinds of, glasses and I think dishes and
lots of cups usually.
Yeah, we get a lot of cups. A lot of times we just, we put really low prices on a lot of stuff. It's nice for people to clean out their cabinets. A lot of stuff it's hard to sell, but if it's inexpensive enough, people will still buy it. The last day, I think this year we're going to do Friday. We've always done Friday and Saturday, And this year we're going to do Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to do, I think it's going to be Sunday morning. We're going to have like, you can fill a box for so much.
I see.
A bargain.
That's when the prices go down.
Yeah, that's when the prices go down. But,
yeah.
if you want what you want, and then you got to get there. I mean, we have people lined up waiting to get in on Friday morning. So one of the things we're doing this year, before we've always had like a big tent set up in one of the grass yards, and then we have that building. We're on schedule this spring to have a pavilion put over that 1 yard where we usually put the tent.
Oh, I see.
So not only it'll be great for the yard sale, because that room gets so full when people are dropping things off, we'll be able to be a lot more organized. We'll be able to start putting things outside under this pavilion, because the pavilion's going to cover practically the whole yard. It's
I
huge.
see. It's going to be a really big one.
Yeah, a really big pavilion. And then it'll also be nice. No, you can't go over there. It'll be nice for, the dogs to go out when it's raining. Like today, I got there this morning, it's raining. And, we have to get them out to clean their kennels. And so they just have to go stand in the rain for a couple of minutes while we're cleaning their kennel. And, like normally we put them all out in a different yard. But when it's raining, they can only go out, one out the front door, one out the back door. Okay, don't get too wet. Well, and we quickly clean their kennel and bring them back in. Meanwhile, everybody else is crossing their legs and barking their heads off. So it's not that much fun. So it'll be really nice to have a covered area. So that's going to happen soon.
Are you going to have picnics and stuff under the pavilion?
I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, I suppose we could, We
haven't
had, since I've been volunteering there for 4 years, we haven't really had any kind of like volunteer get-together, but we do talk about it now and then, and that would be kind of fun. So.
Well, okay, so the pavilion's mainly going to be for the dogs' use then?
Well, the dogs and then the yard sale, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered about that. Now, I see that you're wearing a Northern Chautauqua Canine Rescue T-shirt that whoever comes from there with from the Canine Rescue to Beyond Fresh Perspectives has always worn something that advertised the Canine Rescue. Now, I remember buying a couple of T-shirts there the first time I went there for a visit. There was. Do you still?
We still have. We have a little gift shop set up right on there's the office room where we do adoptions, and then there's a little room next to that, and we do have a little gift shop. There's some, dog themed jewelry, and there's little sweaters and collars and leashes and stuff like that, new stuff that people either donate or we buy. And then we do have the T-shirts and sweatshirts and hats
that advertise the Canine Rescue.
All have the logo and the name on it. We do sell that stuff, and it's fairly inexpensive for the quality that it is.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, I actually got a long sleeve T-shirt and a short sleeve T-shirt there the first time I visited there.
You want to come up?
And usually at the time of the year that you come on Fresh Perspectives, I did wear one time when Ann Moak came on with a dog. I wore the long sleeved green one that I had bought there, but quite often I can't find it, when the day rolls around. So I'm wearing a T-shirt that I got at the Westfield Arts and Crafts Show last year. I don't know if you know Kara Seekings or not.
No.
But she comes on Fresh Perspectives every once in a while, and back in the winter we wore T-shirts that said nice things about women, and this one says, "When women support each other, incredible things happen." Because we were doing an episode that day on women's rights, so that's why we wore these. But I thought it would be a good one to wear today. Since we were going to have a puppy come on.
Sure.
She looks kind of contented when you rub the back of her.
Yeah, I think wherever she came from, I mean, obviously she's, she's not skinny, and she's very people friendly. You know, so, like I said, some of the ones we get in from the out-of-state shelters were, you know, just found stray, or, you know, I don't know, they got a bunch of puppies in, and then they're, you know, young dogs, and they get sent. But, and then you have ones like this, which was probably an owner turnover. And unfortunately, you know, on this, I mean, it happens all the time. Older people, they pass away, or they go to a, you know, a living situation where they're not allowed to bring their pets. And, you know, some of them don't have family, or they don't have family that's able to care for their pets. So unfortunately, they end up, you know, turned over to a shelter. I mean, we have a couple at our shelter right now from, you know, a situation like that. Or, you know, the ones we have now, they're the people just were working all the time and were not home, and just didn't think it was fair for the dogs to be, you know, they had to crate them because they'd be destructive otherwise, and they're just, you know, so that was not a good life. So we have a couple there. They'll be on the, I think they're up on the website now.
Well, she got that dreamy expression on
But yeah,
her
I think
face.
she was definitely someone's, you know.
She really likes to be fussed over.
Yeah, and I think she's probably fed a lot of table scraps, you know. So that's one thing my husband does. You know, I can sit in the living room on the couch with some food, and the dogs don't even bother me. If he walks into the kitchen, they all go in there and wait, and they sit and they wait, because he will always give them a little something, and I'm always telling him not to do that, you know, because, you know, the one gets mad at him now. If he doesn't hand something over, she starts barking at him, you know. I said, well, you know, you created that monster.
Well, they do that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, cats and dogs will nag you, you know. If you've started something with them, they're going to remind you. You know, they're actually going to remind you. But let's get back to this subject of the hoarding. You mentioned hoarding.
The dog we got,
the animal hoarding. You know, in past years, I haven't seen any recently, but in past years, I saw some episodes of something called Hoarding, Buried Alive.
Oh, yeah.
And in some cases, it's not junk that they hoard, it's
cats,
it's
dogs.
animals.
Yeah.
And it's just sickening. It's just sickening. The people, their way of thinking is distorted. It's like, it's sort of a mental disorder where they think they're helping the animals, but they're really not, because, and then they can't afford, they take them in, and then they can't afford them to have them spayed or neutered, so the animals start multiplying. And, you know, it's just, it'll reach a point where they just can't handle the situation anymore. And sometimes they'll get reported, you know, and then somebody will come in and do something about it. But it's just not a good thing, you know.
No, and they're not socialized like the one we're fostering now. I mean, she wasn't socialized to be, you know, to be petted by humans, or touched by humans, or taken for a walk by humans, you know, to even wear a collar, or, you know, and it would be nice, you know, if she could have a collar on, then she could have identification. I mean, she is microchipped, which is good, but you'd never be able to catch her. You know, to even run the scanner.
If she ran away.
If she runs away.
Then you might never find her, or even be able to catch her if you spot where she is,
So if we don't foster fail with her, which, you know, we're really going to try not to, she would need a home with a very secure, at least a 4-foot fence. She's not very tall, but she can jump. But she can't. She hasn't tried to jump over our 4-foot fence. So
she's a short dog. Then.
Yeah. Well, she's only like, you know, probably like Jack Russell size.
Oh yeah, a little.
Yeah. And but she can jump over gate, for a cat. She had no trouble getting out of the kitchen when I shut the gate when she wanted to get out. And she doesn't like to be confined, so she doesn't like to be in a crate.
Oh, gosh.
But she seems to be pretty well, with the house breaking. But we're home, so she goes out every 2 hours with the gang, and we have a big, huge fenced-in. It's fenced at the bottom so they can't dig under. It's 4 foot tall. The gates are secure. I have like bungees on the gates so they can't open the gates themselves. People can't open the gates unless they go through a lot of trouble. And, hopefully no one would just do that.
Oh, yeah.
And we know better.
Well,
so.
Jazzy is just the opposite of that dog.
Yeah.
She's going to make somebody a really good pet.
Yeah, she's, she'll go for a walk. She also keeps her kennel very clean. She has never, she doesn't mess in the kennel. Usually when I go in the morning, there's 4 or 5 of them that, but in their defense, they are there for 10 hours, 11 hours without a break overnight. And,
right.
But she manages to hold it, and then we let her out, and she does her business, and she likes to come back in. So we usually let her come right back in, and she helps us clean the rest of the, she'll
she helps you.
Yeah, she'll hang out and help us.
Yeah, that's what we've always said about our pets. If we're doing a chore and the animals are hanging around with us,
they're helping.
It means they're helping, yeah.
She likes to help.
Now, are you going to have other fundraising events this year? Are you going to be able to have putts for mutts?
I think
or anything?
That's not going to happen this year. We're looking at next year now. It was just too late by the time, we were like trying to find somebody that would run it. But the other fundraiser that we've done it 2 years in a row is right before Christmas. We do an online auction.
Oh, okay.
And that's been very successful, and people really get a kick out of it. You can go online and you place a bid, and then you'll get an email if somebody's outbid you. So then you can go back on and
bid
so-and-so will outbid me, so I'm going to go back on there and, raise it up another couple dollars. But I think we usually get our profit from that, and it's like all donated stuff. We get gift certificates and gift cards, and did you just burp? And people make themed baskets. We had this one person, and I'm sad that I can't remember her name. I should have brought it with me. She writes books about dogs and cats.
Oh, okay.
And
you mean like fiction?
Yeah. Well, the dog book was based on a dog that she and her husband actually rescued from, I think, the subway in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And she lives in Westfield, and now I can't remember her name, and she's a volunteer, but they go away in the wintertime and they come back. But she donated a couple of books to the auction. She, has one about cats and one about dogs, and she actually, I was talking to her about it, and she, I bought one, and she autographed it for my grandson, who's going to be 3. And but anyway, so we get some really cool donations, and I think we made over $4,000 on that fundraiser. Last winter.
That's pretty.
But the yard sale's the big thing, and
the yard sale does the most for you.
Yeah, that does the most, and people. Now and then we'll get, like we just had a German Shepherd that came in. It came in, and it was a lot of times the stress of being turned over and you're in a shelter, and then the transport. Every 2 hours you're being put into somebody else's vehicle, and you're riding all day in a car with other dogs, and it's stressful. And German Shepherds are kind of nervous dogs anyway.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I've never had a German Shepherd, so I wouldn't have known that.
They can be. So this poor guy came in, and the next day he was really sick.
Oh.
And it turns out he had parvo, which is super dangerous.
Is that a parasitic disease?
It's a virus.
It's a virus.
So we got him I took him that day to Erie emergency room. Then he went from there to the Forestville vet to stay for a couple of days. And then he went up to Orchard Park for a couple more days. And now he's back, and he's doing very well, or pretty well. He's getting better. He's eating, because, before he wouldn't eat. And that's not good. They get really skinny. And it really ravages their intestinal tract. It can. So, but they can recover. But it's very dangerous. Like if puppies get it, it's really bad if puppies get it.
They might not.
Which is why you shouldn't take your little puppy and because parvo can live out in the soil or on surfaces for a long time, like months, maybe even a year. Freezing doesn't kill it. So it's out there in the environment. So you should really be careful if you have a little puppy or a dog that's not vaccinated yet. Or your puppy hasn't had enough vaccinations yet, to not let them out, like in a dog park or maybe your own yard is safe.
Don't take it in. Don't take the puppy any. Yeah, I've been.
Don't take it all these places.
I've been hearing about that little puppies, like veterinarians don't like people taking little puppies places.
Yeah.
And I've even heard now that. They don't really like it if you have a puppy. They like you if you have to go somewhere to get a pet sitter to come in and hang out with your puppy.
Yeah.
So
it's
I remember I've done that for people that I know. Gone and pet sat for them. So that.
Yeah, we always get a pet sitter because it's just like a lot less stressful, and then they get to stay in their own environment. But what I was going to say about this dog that came in, and I don't know if he's on our website yet or not, but the vet expense for him is amazing. I think it was over $6,000.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so when we put something out there, and we have this a Samson fund, which is just money for cases like that. And all we have to do is say, hey folks, put it on our Facebook page or advertise it in the paper with our dog of the week, and we just put it out there. And you can't believe, people will really step up and help us out with that kind of thing, with donations. So
yeah, now people can still buy bricks, I take it.
Oh yeah,
for the brick walkway.
Yeah, those are I think $50 for a memorial brick, and you can have a couple lines on there, and it can be in honor of a person or in the memory of a dog or just in honor of your dog that's still alive and kicking. So I have one for every one of ours so far. Now I'm going to have to get some more.
That's what happens.
Break out the checkbook.
That's what happens when you continue to adopt.
Yeah.
Well, people can. There are other ways that people can donate, also, right? They can donate supplies.
Oh yeah, supplies. We always need. Come on over here. I don't want you to step in your water. I'm going to move the water dish. She doesn't seem to be wanting it anyway. Maybe we'll put it way over here, away from the electronics. How about that? Do you want some drink? Okay. Yeah, supplies. Bleach, laundry detergent, unscented if possible.
Oh, definitely unscented.
Well, people will donate scented, and we're not going to turn it down. So our washing machines are going all the time.
Yeah, but if you, there could be dogs that you have that might be allergic to some of the scented stuff.
So unscented is best. Then we use the spray, bleach, sanitizer stuff to wipe their beds down with. Right now we have a lot of dog treats, so we don't need dog treats right now. But sometimes people, if someone goes online to Amazon or Chewy or even goes to a local pet store, we always need Nyla bones. They chew those up because they're sitting in their kennel, and after they've had all their excitement and exercise, and they just kind of sit down and start gnawing on those things. And a lot of them, like her, no stuffed toys. We give her a stuffed toy. She had one this morning, and she had the stuffing coming out of it. And but we have notes on it. And when we see that, we'll put a note on their kennel door, like, don't give this dog a stuffed toy, because sometimes they'll swallow the stuff.
Oh yeah.
So no stuffies for you. And so toys, Nyla bones are really great, because they're not cheap either.
No.
They're like $10 tennis balls. They love tennis balls. They play in the yard, or squeaky sometimes they're squeaky tennis balls. Those are a premium. They really like those, some of the dogs.
Yeah, there's somebody I'm hoping to get on
You're
this,
so
on
cute.
Fresh Perspectives this summer, who's started coming summers to the Chautauqua Institution, and she's somebody who trains service dogs.
Oh, well, nice.
Like for military
Uh-huh.
guys that have been in the military and they need a service dog. So she does that. I'm hoping to get her on. But I think it would probably be a good time to go on to the pictures.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay.
Okay, so we have
Who's-
Barkley up there first. Barkley just got there yesterday. Barkley came from a puppy mill.
Oh.
It's a female.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, she had puppies for somebody, made a lot of money for them, and now she's aged out of giving birth, so they tell us, come and get her.
Oh, okay.
And-
So how old are the dogs when they...
Generally about 5 or 6 years old.
5 or 6? So
yeah.
she's at least 5 or 6 then.
Yeah, she probably is. It just depends, like, you know, they can be a little younger.
Is she a really big dog by any chance?
Yeah, she's an old English sheepdog.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
she's a
just
big girl.
wondered, you know,
Yeah. Super cute,
because
very sweet.
there's another kind of dog that's very large that's white, and that's a, let me see if I can...
Samoyed?
No, I mean a really big dog.
Oh, there's that Anatolian Shepherds.
It'll come to me after the
Okay.
program's over with. Okay.
This one is adorable.
This isn't the one you're.
No, Sprite. Sprite just got there. She's
okay.
tiny. She is very tiny, very timid,
Does
but
she
likes
have
to
some-
sit in your lap. She's
does she-
Chihuahua
Oh,
mix.
Chihuahua mix.
A Chihuahua
Oh,
mix,
okay.
but just mixed with something else tiny because she's just a tiny little thing.
Yeah,
And
really.
you know, she'd do well in a foster home too. So that's another thing. If you want to have a dog, but you don't want to have the responsibility, the medical responsibility, or you don't want to have to keep a dog for a long time, but you want to help. I mean, we always are looking for foster families, and you just take care of them, and we take care of the food and the medical bills and everything, and you just take care of them until they get adopted. And then, you know, if you want another one, you wait for the next one to come down.
So this one is called Dooley?
Yeah, I don't know why it's spelled like it.
Dooley? Is it supposed to be pronounced Dooley?
We're calling him Dooley. So Dooley was an owner turnover, fairly local, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But not too far away. So Dooley, and he came in with Max, who's a big, hairy German Shepherd.
You know, there's something about the way the ears come up a little and then flap over. There isn't some Papillon in that dog.
He just got here. I'm not sure.
But I mean, Papillons are little itty bitties.
Right. I see what you're saying though with the ears.
With the ears, yeah.
You know, a DNA tester. You know, maybe the people. I don't know if they ever did a DNA test on him or not. But he's only been there a couple of days. He just got neutered. He's very sweet, very friendly. Not
Do you
real
know
big.
how old he is or not?
I'm thinking maybe he's 3.
3?
Yeah, somewhere 2 or 3 years old, maybe. Not real old, pretty young guy, and he's a really sweet dog. And you know, I haven't had that much. You know, I haven't walked him yet because when they come in and when we first get them, they're under quarantine for 5 days. So
I see.
we don't take them off the property for walks or anything.
Is
this
that
is his friend Max.
Oh, now is this isn't the German Shepherd?
Yeah, this is a
long-haired
long-haired German Shepherd.
This is the one that was sick then?
No,
not the one that was sick.
No, the one that was sick is Maverick. This guy's name is Max.
Max.
Max just came in with Dooley.
He's very pretty.
They live together, but then we found out while they're at the shelter that Max really doesn't like to be around Dooley when it's feeding time. Because Max doesn't like to eat all his food all at once. And then there's food in the dish.
And Dooley will go and eat. Oh, he's one of these animals that likes to
graze.
Likes to spread his meal out throughout the day.
Yeah, some of them we have to feed with a slow feed bowl because they'll just eat it so fast that,
So he might actually be better off going to somebody who doesn't have another dog then.
Yeah, he might, yeah.
Yeah,
And he's a
yeah.
pretty big dog, so, you know, he'd probably be enough. This guy is Beau. He's probably a cattle dog mix. Another really sweet, friendly dog. Likes to play. He's just super sweet. He's been there a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah, so. And he walks nice on a leash.
Oh, good, good.
Charlie did get adopted, but he loves his stuffed toys, and he won't tear them apart, but he carries them around. And I guess he was adopted, and they had some younger kids, and so when the younger kids were just even going near Charlie's toys, he was getting a little growly. So they were a little concerned about that.
So small children, he's not a good fit for small children.
Not for good, you know, like, 10, 12 or teenagers would be fine, you know, that would know to leave the dog stuff alone.
He looks like some sort of a husky.
Yeah, he is a husky, and he's really a nice dog. He's very sweet, and he walks nice on a leash, but just no young kids. Okay, so Kaiser. Kaiser is a big, bouncy, still growing. He's a puppy. He's maybe 8 months old, I think. Maybe a Great Dane lab mix.
Oh, he's very tall.
He's very tall.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the picture. He doesn't look real big in the picture.
When he jumps up, he can put his paws on my shoulder. And he's very bouncy and very much a puppy. So he's going to need some training, but he's going to be a great pet for somebody. He's a really nice guy. Just a lot of energy. You got to have some energy if you're going to have him. He's not going to just sit around. Lollipop. Lollipop. Okay, here's one of our puppy mill survivors. Barely.
So she's a girl then.
She came in, and that was her in the kennel when I came in on a Sunday morning, and I was going to take her, but we have this other lady who does. We have a couple that do fosters, and she said, no, I'll come and get her. You know, I've got space now, I'll come and get her. So she came and got Lollipop, and it's been a journey. I think it's on our website. You can follow her journey from, you know, just being totally shut down, like in the kennel with her face against the wall. Don't touch me, don't come near me. Not aggressive, but just so afraid.
I just don't want you to come near me.
Yeah, and so this person took her home, and she works with her, and she has other dogs too, and her other dogs are like really great with these fosters, these scared little fosters. So she has really made some progress, but, you know, to get her to eat, she has to like basically like hold the food out in her hand to her, and she has her safe spaces in the house where, you know, she'll go out and play, but she has to come back in and sit in her safe spot. So she's, but that's the thing. Some of these puppy mills, they do socialize. We have had some puppy mill dogs that come in and they're socialized, and maybe those are like smaller places. But some of them, they don't even know how to eat out of a dish because they just throw the food on the floor.
So this is another...
And this is another puppy mill guy, Tico. He's got a blue eye and a brown eye.
Kind of...
This is a boy.
Oh, this is a boy. He's kind of husky looking.
Yeah, he's a husky.
Yeah.
So he was used for, you know, breeding. But never treated well by humans. So he's super scared of humans. I can pet him. You can put a leash on him, and we walk him around. We stay inside the fence when we walk him. We don't walk him up and down the road because he's too much of a... If he got away, you'd never, you know, you'd have to... I think he did get away once, and we had to set traps, like have a heart traps to get him back, and they finally did catch him after a couple of days. He would hang around the shelter, but he would not be caught.
And this is Cleo.
Cleo. And she's about the size of a basset hound, but she looks like a German Shepherd, and she did get adopted briefly, but the people weren't home long enough, and they're having a hard time potty training her because they're not home, and you know.
Yeah.
But she is German Shepherd and Basset Hound.
A mixture of a...
So she's got this great
That's
big...
quite an unusual mix, isn't it?
She's got this great big head.
A Basset Hound tends to be short to the ground, and then the German Shepherds are really big. Yeah.
Okay, the Prince, he's one of my favorite. He's been there a long time, over a year.
Really?
Yep. Because when he came in, you couldn't touch his collar, you couldn't put a leash on him, he was so afraid of people touching his neck.
Oh.
And I think they used to grab him, they were abusive to him. They used to, grab him and hit him in the head or, slap him in the face or something. So I worked with him a long time just to, here's a treat and I'm going to touch your collar. And now he's great and he loves it. But he needs somebody like not little kids, probably not cats. I think he would be okay with another dog, but he would have to be tested. We've never paired him with another dog, but he seems to be dog friendly, but he might just be too rambunctious for, because he's really high energy. So we play ball with him and he'll play ball forever, And then and then he'll roll over and he'll want a belly rub but and these two, Izzy and Gem.
Izzy and Gem?
Izzy and Gem, and they also have, so Izzy was the mom, and Gem was her baby, and then there's two other, Jeb and Justice. They're not on the website yet because they're
not ready to be adopted yet.
Semi-feral. Gem was in a foster in Mayville, and she used to get loose, and she was on the run for a couple of months at a time.
So Gem is the one that's white with black.
Yeah, she's super cute. She would need a home where, a secure fenced yard, tall fence, and don't let her out, because if she gets out, and you can walk her with a harness. She'll walk with a harness. Just got to make sure she's everything's on there tight, and she's adorable.
She has unusual markings.
Yeah,
look
beautiful.
at those dark areas around the eyes.
Yeah, she's really a pretty girl, and her mom is pretty nice too. Izzy, she's a little bit shy too. But you can walk her on a leash. Sometimes they're a little skittish. So, fenced yard for them would be nice. And, but like I said, their two brothers they're a work in progress. I almost think we need to build another facility that's a sanctuary, but.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how, but they've been there a long time too, but they're, we're working on it. One of the people that works there is really working towards being able to touch them and pet them without them freaking out.
Oh yeah.
So they're not aggressive or anything. You can go in, you can feed them, you can talk to them. They'll take a treat from your hand, but if you try to pet them or God forbid put a leash on them and try to take them somewhere. So anytime they have to go anywhere, you have to kind of scare them into a crate and then carry them. So. Did we go through the whole list?
I'm thinking it kind of looked like it might have been. Was that all of them, Chris?
That's everything I saw.
Okay, that's everything he found on the website there. Then,
well, the other thing I can say is, if we have time, is we always need volunteers too.
Oh, okay.
So volunteers can basically do whatever they feel comfortable with. We have volunteers that just come in and do laundry if they're older people or they have physical limitations where they can't physically, walk dogs or take dogs out or whatever. And but there's laundry, there's housekeeping duties that need to be done. Then there's people that just come and spend time with the little dogs. If you don't feel comfortable walking a big dog, like that little Chihuahua that we just got in.
Oh yeah.
If somebody just goes and sits in her kennel with her and holds her on their lap, that helps a lot. Because otherwise she's in there scared and scared and sad. So if somebody can go sit with her for a half hour and talk to her, read her a book, whatever, bring a book, read her.
Yeah, bring a book.
And then there's people like me that, we go in the morning, we take everybody out, we clean out kennels, we bring them back in, we feed them, we take them for walks, we clean the yards, go do a lot of poop, poop scooping and bleaching of the concrete, and then we have that big room we can go in there and play ball with the ones that like to do that. Whoa. And then there's also we have one lady that does thank you cards for people that make donations.
Oh yeah.
And that's another thing that we always need is postage stamps. So if somebody wants to make a donation
stamps.
of postage stamps, thank you cards.
I think it was I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I won You know that Monopoly game at Tops?
Oh.
I won some dog food
Oh,
that
there
I
you go.
donated,
Yeah.
you know, in the Monopoly game.
Yeah, we do
So-
take donations of dog food too. Yeah, we like Purina. That's what we usually feed them. But if people have, the problem is we have people that will, their dog passed away and they bring an open bag, and we really
And you don't really want...
we don't really want an open bag. But a lot of times, even with the open bags, we have people who volunteer who know other people who could use even an open bag of dog food.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll
yeah.
take it with them
Yeah.
and donate it to somebody who, may not be able to afford right now for some reason or another. Like some people just, they might be having a hard time, and especially, with the economy and the prices of everything, and I'm sure dog food's going to go up too.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, so even if it's an open bag, we don't throw it away. We find somebody who can use it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And sometimes we get donations. In my car right now, I have a bag of cat food that I got that Tractor Supply donated in our bunch of stuff. And it's cat food, so I got to drop it off at the kitty.
Oh, the
But-
thrifty kitty,
The thrifty
yeah,
kitty, but
yeah.
every time I've been by, it's like, oh, they're not open. But I think they're open this afternoon, so I'm
Yeah,
going to try to.
they used to open up at 10 in the mornings.
Yeah.
And a year or so ago, I discovered that they had not been open mornings anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The one person told me that usually the people that come in the morning don't buy, just look around and don't buy anything. So
It's not worth it. Yeah.
So they now they just open. Although I think they're open from 10 until 2 on Saturdays. At least the last I knew that was how it was.
Yeah, and Tractor Supply too, they really are very generous. I mean, they usually have a box there where people can buy something for the dogs and
that's
donate it to the
nice.
shelter.
Yeah, yeah.
So every couple of months, one of us is there, and I mean, they know me now because I'm always there buying stuff. And they're like, hey, you want to take some donations? And so I load up my car, and and so they've been very generous with us.
Well, you like towels and bedding. And
Oh yeah,
stuff
towels.
Like
We
that.
always can use like old towels, old sheets. Not pillows because the dogs just rip them up.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But sheets, blankets, towels, even small towels, we use them, for cleaning. So that we always need those kinds of things. So we get a lot of those, but we use a lot of those, and they do get ripped up, worn out. When we have puppies, they poop on them to the point where you just throw it away. It's it's not worth cleaning.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. So, yeah, I know. I've never been really particularly happy with the puppy stage. And it's not the pooping so much, it's the way they think they have to chew on everything.
Oh yeah, right,
you know?
right, yeah.
That's a very difficult stage. All of the dogs we've ever had, I've always been glad. The ones that we had started out with as puppies, because I was always glad when the puppy stage was behind them, because
Yeah. Well, actually, the Naomi, the foster that we have now, she is, she's probably less than 2 years old, and so she chews things, and I've got to be really careful. And last night I'm sitting at my computer over in the corner of the living room, and I heard crunch, crunch, and I'm like, and they have nylabones all over the house.
Oh,
so I'm just,
okay.
I'm not paying attention. Then I'm thinking, okay, what is she chewing? And she had the TV remote. She didn't destroy it, but it does have a hole in it.
Well, you know, I used to, when this one certain elderly lady was alive that I was friends with, she had a little Sheltie, and one evening, apparently, this was what I heard from her daughter, was she heard the little dog chewing on something, and come to find out it was the elderly lady's dentures.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God, that's an expensive one.
Yeah.
Well, I had my phone sitting on the same table with this remote. And so I thought, well, the TV remote's easy to replace, but if she would have chewed up my phone, that would not have been
Oh,
a good
no,
thing.
no,
so.
no, that would
But
not be good.
I took it away from her and handed her an Isla Bone and said, "Hey, let's switch over to this." So.
Yeah, I remember one time when I was pet sitting for some neighbors of mine, and they wanted me to stay overnight for a week,
Yeah.
with their dogs.
Yeah.
And they had the Springer Spaniel. They had 4 dogs at the time, 4 dogs and 2 cats. And the Springer Spaniel was quite naughty, And even though she was past the puppy stage, I woke up one morning and she had been chewing this one shoe of mine.
Uh-oh.
Had some damage done to it, and she'd started, I caught her in the act of starting to chew on my flannel shirt, because I was in my pajamas,
Yeah.
I hadn't gotten out of the bed yet, and I'm going, oh, good grief,
Yeah.
Well, so then then when I changed for bed at night after that, then I would have to hide my clothing and shoes.
Yeah, this is
know.
having a chewer in the house is. Well, she chewed this zipper off of Steve's jacket, chewed a hole in the zipper, so now we need a new zipper. But this has taught us to hang up our coats when we come home. You can't just throw it in the chair.
Yeah,
And
well, if you're going to foster animals, I guess you have to keep your stuff up and away
Yeah.
from where they can get at it.
So it's
because you never
yeah.
know. You never know what you're bringing.
You're right.
What kind of habits an animal has that you're bringing into your home.
Well, our house and yard has been just an ongoing evolution, just constantly trying to outsmart them while they come up with new things to, dig a hole over here, so I move something over there where the hole is, or I had to put a little fence around a bush that, they kept digging up under, because we have a lot of chipmunks around. Our neighbors have chickens, so which is fine. I like the chickens, but there's chicken feed. So where there's chicken feed, there's a lot of chipmunks and more squirrels. So then they burrow underground, the little chipmunks, and that makes my dogs crazy. Like, okay, they can hear them and smell them, and so they're digging, trying to find these little chipmunks underground, or even if you have like a board out in the yard or a piece of wood or some firewood, and the chipmunks are under there and the dogs are going nuts trying to get at them. So yeah, we're always moving things around. Putting up some new fencing, and it's constant. But we get so much joy.
Was that Steve,
having them.
Was that Steve in the background in the picture of Heidi that you texted me? There's a person.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a person.
Yeah, he loves that little. That's like his. She's in his lap, 90% of the day. Sometimes he brings her out. He said, "Okay, I got to get something done. You hold her for a while." I said, "You can put her down. She doesn't have to be held."
So she's getting spoiled.
Oh yeah.
Then.
I think she was. Like, she's about 2 or 3 years old, and she's another one where, there's absolutely nothing. She has no issues whatsoever. She's just so well adjusted, potty trained, just the sweetest little thing, and. She needed to be groomed, so she hadn't been groomed. She had some mats and stuff. But
those kind of dogs, their hair gets.
Yeah, they have to get groomed.
Yeah, their hair gets really long if you don't.
You have to brush them.
It needs to be trimmed. Yeah.
So she's a little more maintenance than the rest of them, but and I've always had big dogs, so this is our first. But she's, oh my God, she's just adorable, and so I think she probably belonged to some older person that because she's so good, and she's so well socialized. So, and pretty sure she's a purebred. We don't know because she doesn't come with papers.
But it looks like.
But yeah, she looks like a Shih Tzu,
like
exactly. So, and they're real nice dogs for little kids too. I read, because I'm like, well, what do we have here?
Yeah.
And they're real family friendly. If you don't want a big dog, that's that or a mix, and we get those in pretty often. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to say it, but we've come to the end of another episode of Fresh Perspectives. And thank you, Patty, and thank you, Jazzy, for coming on Fresh Perspectives today. And I'll see those of you in the viewing audience on the next episode.